The four Gospel writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are each associated with a symbol: a man, a lion, an ox, and an eagle. These symbols arise from interpretations of biblical visions found in Ezekiel chapter 1 and Revelation chapter 4. The book of Ezekiel opens with a striking vision.
A stormy wind came out of the north, and a great cloud with fire flashing back and forth, and a brightness all around it. And out of the centre of it gleamed something like the glow of gleaming amber out of the midst of the fire. And from the midst of it came what looked like four living creatures. This was their appearance. They had human form, but each one had four faces, and each one had four wings. Their legs were straight legs, and the soles of their feet were like the sole of a calf's foot, and they gleamed like burnished bronze. They had human hands under their wings on their four sides, and the four of them had their faces and their wings thus. Their wings touched one another. They did not turn when they moved. Each one went straight forward. As for the form of their faces, they had the face of a man in front, and the four of them had the face of a lion on the right side, and the four of them had the face of an ox on the left side. The four of them also had the face of an eagle.
Later in Ezekiel, these creatures are identified as cherubim, who guard God's throne, and with their four heads see in all directions simultaneously. The author of the book of Revelation experiences a similar vision.
Around the throne were four living creatures full of eyes in front and behind. And the first creature was like a lion, and the second creature like an ox, and the third creature had a face as of a man, and the fourth creature was like a flying eagle.
These four creatures worship around God's throne day and night, proclaiming, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was, and who is to come." These passages are notoriously difficult to interpret. The man, the ox, the lion, and the eagle are rich in symbolism and have been taken to symbolize such things as the attributes of Christ: his humanity as the Son of Man, his humility as the obedient servant, his strength and power as the Lion of Judah, his divinity and majesty as the Son of God. These four creatures also came to be associated with the four evangelists. This association is first recorded in the writing of St. Irenaeus of Lyon in his treatise Against the Heresies, composed towards the end of the 2nd century. Irenaeus argued that only these four Gospels authentically witness to the life of Christ and are prophesied in the Old Testament.
He who was manifested to men has given us the gospel under four aspects, but bound together by one Spirit.
Over time, each Gospel writer came to be consistently identified by one of the symbols. These figures are used either on their own to represent the evangelist, or near to a figure depicting an evangelist to help indicate his identity. Matthew, author of the first Gospel account, is symbolized by a divine man or angel. This symbol is rooted in the beginning of his Gospel, which opens with the genealogy of Jesus, tracing his lineage from Abraham. This focus highlights Christ's human nature and the Incarnation, emphasizing his role as the fulfillment of Jewish prophecy. The symbol of the man represents humanity and reason, pointing to Jesus' connection to mankind and his role as a teacher. St. Jerome explained that Matthew's Gospel begins as of a man, focusing on Christ's earthly origins. This symbol encourages Christians to engage their intellect and reason in pursuit of salvation, drawing upon Jesus' teachings as a foundation. Mark is symbolized by a lion, a figure of courage, monarchy, and resurrection. Mark's Gospel opens with a bold proclamation. The voice of one crying in the wilderness, "Prepare the way of the Lord." This evokes the image of a lion roaring in the desert, representing Christ's royal authority and powerful ministry. The lion also connects to the resurrection. Ancient beliefs held that lions slept with their eyes open, symbolizing Christ's watchful presence even in death, and his ultimate triumph over the grave. Church fathers like St. Irenaeus and St. Augustine associate Mark with the lion for these reasons, highlighting Christ's strength and kingship. Christians are called to imitate this courage and boldness on their journey toward salvation. Luke, the author of the third Gospel and the Acts of the Apostles, is symbolized by an ox or bull, an animal traditionally associated with strength and service. Luke's Gospel begins with the priest Zechariah performing sacrificial duties in the temple, symbolizing the priestly role of Christ. The ox, frequently used in temple offerings, prefigures Christ's ultimate sacrifice on the cross, emphasizing themes of atonement and obedience. St. Jerome connects Luke's Gospel to this sacrificial imagery, pointing out that Luke's narrative underscores Jesus' compassion and his call to selfless service. Parables like the prodigal son and the Good Samaritan help to illustrate this theme. The ox symbolizes the Christian call to sacrificial love and service in imitation of Christ's example. John the Evangelist is symbolized by an eagle, a creature associated with the heavens and the divine. John's Gospel begins with the lofty and theological prologue. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This opening reflects John's focus on Christ's divinity and eternal nature, soaring above earthly concerns to explore the mysteries of the divine. The eagle's ability to fly high and gaze directly into the sun symbolizes the profound theological insights found in John's Gospel, particularly his emphasis on the eternal relationship between the Father and the Son. Church fathers like St. Augustine noted that John's Gospel soars above the others, focusing especially on Christ's divine nature. The eagle calls Christians to set their sights on eternity and seek union with God, lifting their minds and hearts to the divine.